Tolani, a 24-year-old lady, was a puzzle to the villagers, always willing to lend a helping hand. She would often volunteer to help Mama Ekene with her farming, assist Iya Damola with her cooking, and even babysit for her neighbor. However, she had a dark secret. She was a thief. It started with small things like taking few grains of rice from Mama Ekene's store or borrowing Iya Damola's scarf without asking. But over time, her thieving escalated and she began to steal more valuable items. She would steal petty items like Iya Damola's brazier from her wash bucket, which wasn't even her size, and her neighbor's Chibuzo singlet. She would often steal from the market stalls, snatching fruits and vegetables when no one was looking. The villagers began to notice her thieving ways, and they grew tired of her antics. They started to avoid her, protecting their properties. Whenever she came around, the villagers would whisper to each other, "Tolani is coming, hide your things." Some even started calling her Tolani the thief. Tolani knew she was stealing and she wanted to stop, but she had no control over her actions. It was as if an unseen force was driving her to commit these petty crimes. She would often find herself standing in front of a market stall, her hands reaching out to grab something without her even realizing it. She felt like she was possessed by a mischievous spirit. Each time she was caught and beaten, she felt very ashamed and remorseful. She would cry and plead for forgiveness, promising never to steal again. But the pattern repeated itself, and Tolani felt like she was trapped in a vicious cycle. One day, the village chief priest, Baba Olofin, decided to intervene. He called Tolani to his hut and asked her, "Tolani, my child, what is wrong with you? Why do you steal?" Tolani broke down in tears, confessing that she didn't know why she stole. She told Baba Olofin that she felt an invisible force pushing her to commit these crimes. Baba Olofin listened carefully, nodding his head. He then told Tolani, "My child, I believe you, but we need to find the root of this problem." He made some incantations and consulted with the village oracle. After a few moments of silence, Baba Olofin's eyes widened in surprise. Baba Olofin discovered that Tolani did something terrible in her teenage years. She had insulted an old woman who was begging for alms. Tolani remembered the woman. She was 17 years old then, walking on the road when the old woman begged her for food. Tolani had shouted and spat at the woman, calling her filthy and a thief. The woman had cried and placed a curse on Tolani, saying, "You will forever be a thief, stealing from others to feed your own greed." Tolani cried out in surprise, remembering the incidents vividly. She knew she was stubborn in her teenage years, but she had no idea that it was what affected her. She was truly remorseful, feeling a deep sense of regret for her past actions. Baba Olofin made some incantations and a sacrifice to cleanse Tolani, appeasing the gods and the spirit of the old woman. He performed a ritual to break the curse, using sacred herbs and chanting ancient prayers. Tolani felt a strange sensation wash over her, as if a weight was being lifted off her shoulders. She felt a sense of peace and freedom that she had never felt before. From that day on, Tolani was a changed person. She no longer felt the urge to steal, and she began to rebuild her relationships with the villagers. Tolani apologized to those she had wronged and offered to make amends. She returned the stolen items to their rightful owners, and she even offered to work for free to repay her debts. The villagers, seeing the change in Tolani, began to accept her back into the community. They praised Baba Olofin for his wisdom and thanked him for helping Tolani break free from the curse. Tolani lived in harmony with the villagers and was careful about how she spoke henceforth. She had learned to weigh her words, considering the potential impact on those around her, and instead chose to speak with kindness, empathy, and understanding. This thoughtful approach to communication had fostered a sense of trust and respect between Tolani and the villagers, allowing them to live together in mutual support and cooperation.